Hello again, everyone. Eric with HamRadioConcepts, KJ4YZI. Subscribe to the channel for future updates and follow along on progress. So, I made a video a while ago and it really seemed to take off. How I was learning Morse code CW. And so I made the first video showing how I used an app with just my own method, just to show that, hey, I was making progress, right? And a lot of people picked up on it, made comments, and started learning themselves. I appreciate all the comments and the followers for that. So what I have now is a video, little compilation here of some tools that I picked up from MFJ and a couple that they sent me with it so I can check out with my purchase. And so I'm going to show you a couple things of what I did, or what I have here, and what I've been doing with CW and how I've progressed along. And maybe some of these tools will interest you, but this is just, you know, an update type video to the Learning Morse Code Part 1, and now I have an update to the Part 2. So let me just show you this and some other things that I got, and, you know, show you what they do. So this first one here is the MFJ 557 Practice Code Oscillator Straight Key. And one of the things that I picked up first, because I wanted just something that sat here on the desk that I could also take with me, that wasn't too much of, you know, a hassle, or it's just easy enough to pick this thing up and go. I mean, it's got its own built-in speaker, runs on a 9-volt battery, or you can plug it into your power supply. Volume and tone controls to set the different pitch, you know. And not super loud. I think it was claimed to be a little bit louder than it is, but not. I mean, how loud really do you need it? I mean, if you're practicing CW in a train station, you might have a problem if the train's coming through. Other than that, I mean, you should have no problem hearing this. But not super loud. But you can plug this in here to headphones or an external speaker. And practice with it. So 9-volt battery or DC 12-volt. And it incorporates a straight key. So I find myself loving a straight key, but I also think I'm going to be using a paddle mostly. It's just me. I'll show you a paddle here shortly. So the straight key, you could do two things with this. And this is the reason I liked this, is because I can sit here and play with it and practice, take it with me and practice while I'm on the go, you know. Even if I'm driving up, you know, somewhere for an hour, and I could keep this thing with me and just, you know, bang on it and practice. Or I could loosen the thumb screws, take the wires off, and just hook up a cable to my radio and use this as a straight key without having to buy another straight key. You know, I think one day I want like some really antique, like American Telegraph and telephone AT&T key from the 1800s. I think that's what I really would like to play with. But for now, I could bang away on this key. Easy enough, and if I want to practice some more, you know, put the wires on the thumb screws there. You can see here. So I guess you could take the key off of this, but I'd rather just hook the wires up to it and do it that way. So it's a dual-purpose unit. Price point was like $39, so not really too much of an investment for this. And I can leave it on my desk, and you know, just sit here and play with it as I'm watching YouTube and start banging out, you know, different words. And you can adjust it here with thumb screws and such, so you can make it real sensitive, or you can make it like you're on the Titanic. I mean, that sounds, you know, if you tighten this thing up and real low action, I mean, you can barely hear it. So a pretty cool thing to have, the MFJ 557, and it's got a good weight to it with the little rubber feet, so this thing's not sliding around a desk. You leave it here and go pound on it, it ain't moving, you know. So that's the first thing I picked up. Let's check out another one. So another cool thing that I thought I needed as a tool, primarily because, you know, if you don't know, I work a lot. So sometimes I'm not there by the radio, or I just got way too much stuff to do, or got to go to somebody else's house or do whatever. So a couple things here. This here is the MFJ Pocket Morse Code Tutor, the MFJ 418. And basically what this does is randomly, there's a couple settings in here I'll show you. It randomly spits out CW so that you can practice. For instance, just to show you, okay, and you can set the runs on 2 AA batteries, and you can set a bunch of parameters in here. First, you can see you can change the words per minute, 5 words a minute. That's where I'm really trying to learn right now, is 5 words a minute. Or you can go up. If you really want to brush up on your high-speed CW, okay, and you can change the speed and the volume and the pitch. Okay, and something else here I'll show you. So you can just new play for starting new, repeat, overall speed. You can set the speed in here all the way down. I'll go back down to about 8 words a minute for me. Farnsworth on or off. Now, I haven't researched that yet. I'm still trying to get the lingo and stuff, so bear with me. The tone frequency, if you want it low-pitched or high-pitched. And right here, so I can go, I just discovered this since I've had it. I didn't know this. So you can go beginner or advanced. So like I can have it do call signs, all characters, FCC characters, numbers and pro signs, letters and numbers, pro signs, numbers, letters, symbols, more symbols, numbers, you know. So basically, a couple of people had mentioned on the comments, I love the comments, and they said you should, first of all, they said that I did it wrong. I don't know if there's any wrong way of learning CW, it just may be easier for some. But they said you should never learn alphabetical and in order, the sending first. You should always learn receiving. So, okay. Well, you know, this here I could set to learn and go through the alphabet or do words or call signs, QSOs, even, you know, see here, I'll go, see there's the, let's see. We'll go like this. Custom Morse code tutor. QSOs. Let's try QSOs. All right, and I'll start this. So pretty much it's going to simulate a call sign, okay, and it's doing it out. So some people said, well, what you want to do is you want to learn, you know, just sporadic notes, or not notes, letters and numbers, and just in no particular order. Some people said, really all you're going to do on CW is listen for a CQ, answer it, and, you know, give a call sign and a signal report. So what do you need to learn how to do all these different words? And a lot of different ways of going about, I guess. But for the most part, I can send and hear CQ, this is whatever. Beyond that, I lack the experience of, you know, the certain things of what they do for RST or, you know, different, what the lingo is on CW. That's another learning curve right there. You know, a lot of shorthand, a lot of, you know, not talking about just random stuff like you would on voice. I guess it's kind of down to the point, you know, especially in contest or field day. So the Morse code tutor, very cool. And again, I could hook up headphones so I can be at work, or if I'm too busy at work, on a bus or a plane ride. You know, I'm trying to brainstorm for what others do besides what I do for work. So some people may travel a lot. Hey, put it in, you know, bring it with you on board and get your 10, 20, 30 minutes a day while you travel, you know, of learning different things. And this is, I've started using this and learning a few, you know, getting familiar. For some reason, I have a harder time at 5 words a minute than I do at 8 words a minute. I guess when it gets really slow, I just kind of lose track, maybe. Maybe it's just me. So the Morse code tutor, and then right next to it looks like the same thing. It's actually a Morse code reader or decoder, a pocket decoder. This is the MFJ 461. This is the MFJ 418. So now this, I can use this if I want to, I guess, you know, I don't want to cheat. Some people may be able to use this and read conversations. I don't want to get in the habit of using this to decode and then using my fist to transmit. I want to do everything by ear and by mind. So this may be helpful if I'm just wanting to hear who that is or decode. Like maybe I'm having trouble. What I can do is I could hear it, write it down as I'm hearing it, and then double check my work on here or my answers and see. And I've already done that a couple times and found myself I was completely off. I got the K and the 4, and then I thought it was EJH, but it was actually something else. So, this may be good for double checking my sloppy copying. So, the tutor for me, and some people may say, well, why do you need to buy the money with a tutor? You could just turn on your radio and listen. You're absolutely correct. I could turn on my radio and listen all day long for free. But what happens if I'm out of town? What happens if you're a person that travels every day on a train to work or every day on a bus to work, or you fly 3 times a week and you want to practice? Or, you don't have a radio right now, but you'd still have to practice. You're in a HOA. You don't have your radio set up. This is a pretty good alternative for this. So the Morse code tutor and the Morse code decoder, both a great addition to tools for learning Morse code or CW. Then I got my key here, the MFJ 564B. So the iambic paddle, iambic key. And, this is my first key or paddle. Actually, it's the first everything for CW as I learn. But this one suits me well. Now, what I would like to do, if you haven't seen my field day video from this year, Dwayne K4LNN is like the expert at CW. And I'd love for him, next time I see him, I'm going to bring this and see if, let him beat on it and see how he likes it. It's got a really heavy bass. It's metal, solid metal bass with anti-skid feet. It does not move, so it is not, it's pretty sturdy, A fully adjustable spring tension, fully adjustable action here with the little Allen screws there, thumb screws. And at a price point of $79, it's great for my first paddle. Now, I'm sure a lot of you want to comment and tell me in the video your best or favorite key or the best one to get. And that's fine. I understand there's all different kinds. This one, I can't see any reason why I would want any more than this for now. But eventually I'll upgrade. So I also got the cable because I wasn't sure if it was any kind of special cable, but they do have the cable for MFJ. You can make your own. But this one's a 3.5 or 3.5 millimeter stereo jack for the paddle, and basically I soldered the wires on the bottom. I still have to put the little clip there on the wires so it holds the wire underneath. But that was pretty easy, that was it. And I can go ahead and set my radio to paddle, and it has a keyer built in. And one thing that you might find funny, so. And I don't remember what Dwayne said about this, but what I did was, I guess, progressively playing with these or this, I somehow managed to learn in left-handed mode on my right hand, I guess. So normally this would be your dots and this would be your dashes, I guess. And what I did was I did my dashes here and my dots here, and that's comfortable for me. Dot, 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 dot. So I don't know if that's a problem. I don't think so. I'm left-handed. I'm right-handed, but I'm learning left hand on my right hand. And now that's the first way I started doing it, because I didn't really research and see what's protocol or maybe someone's going to comment and say you do it however you do it. And in that case, this would be the easiest way for me to do it. All right. It really is a decent key for me. I like it. And next time I go out to a field day or an event, QRP event, I'll make some more video and get some people to use this and let me know what they think. So MFJ knows I do some QRP portable operation a lot. I need to put more on film than I do. But they sent along this little travel paddle. Very basic. But, if you don't want to take your big heavy key or paddle or bug or whatever with you, and you just want to do some portable operation real quick without bringing all the stuff, a little one like this might do you just fine. Now, I will recommend, I'll say that my opinion is, it is so small that it kind of moves a little bit. So get creative and maybe either fasten this to a little piece of wood or maybe something to hold it down, because it does work with my radio, but you can see that you have to kind of hold it down to keep it from moving. So a little bit of creativity might do you fine. And a lot of people make their own little keys, and they've done that for years. And this one's, just as easy to pick up for a very small price. And just keep it fastened somewhere, and that might do you well instead of having to take your big paddle or key if you're wanting to go extremely QRP portable. So you want to use a paddle, but you don't have a radio that will use or accept a paddle, only a straight key. So MFJ makes a couple different keyers. This is the Econo keyer with memory, and actually this one's been revised. I think this was the original one, the MFJ 441, and now they have the Econo keyer 2, which is the MFJ 401. So it looks like they revised this, but it's pretty much the same thing with some minor fixes. But basically plugging your key into here and then output into your radio that doesn't have a built-in keyer allows you to use a paddle on an older radio or some 10-meter radios or certain radios that are meant just with a straight key or an older radio. So the Econo keyer is one of the keyers they have. And some people, from what I read on eHam, some people prefer an outboard keyer. More info, I guess, as I read. But any comments you want to leave, please leave them below. If your local club or you have a group of friends want to host a event or some training classes on CW, consider the MFJ 554 classroom code practice oscillator. So basically what this is I can put a straight key into here, and basically it turns it into an amplified speaker. So it doesn't get any easier than that. If the speaker in here and the volume's not loud enough, you could even put it into a bigger speaker. Here, the external speaker. Takes a 12-volt input and basically just volume and tone. And like an outboard, CW oscillator that will... So actually, you know what? I could use this with this if I wanted to. I can wire the key to that with a different plug and eliminate this and have a larger one with the key. So, great for somebody who is maybe at a QRP event. Cause I say that because we do some QRP events here in Vero. Jan and the guys, they organize these things, and everybody gets together on like one Saturday a month, and everybody's got their QRP rigs. They're all trying different antennas. They're all trying this. And a couple times Jan was having some CW lessons and getting people familiar with that. So I missed those because I was working. But this would have been great for that, because then, people can say, well, this is 20 words a minute, and show everybody without having to, crowd around a radio. You have a bigger speaker here to really broadcast it to an audience or a classroom. So let's say you want to join in on CW fun, but you don't have a paddle or a key, or you do but you're just rusty, and you want to get into those guys that are real high-speed CW guys. Or I've heard a few people that must have been using one of these because the CW is so fast there's no way anybody can copy it. Well, what this is the MFJ 464. This is the CW keyer / reader. So it does incorporate a reader like I showed you a few minutes ago into here. It also incorporates a keyer like I showed you here. Okay? But it also lets you use this to operate CW with a keyboard. Now, if you haven't seen my video on the PSK modem, the Pocket PSK digital modem, that model, the video I did on that, you might want to check that out if you're into PSK or portable operations. That also does CW keyboard method. So with a standard, well, not a standard anymore, they decided to use an AT style keyboard plug on here, which the older RIDI keyboards and stuff used AT, and older computers, So you can get an adapter from PS2 to AT, no problem, for like $2 or $3 on eBay or Amazon. And you can plug in a PS2 keyboard or an AT keyboard on here. And basically, if somebody's sending high speed or any speed, 5 to 99 words a minute, it'll decode what they're transmitting or what they're sending, automatically lock on at the speed they're sending, and then you can either use your paddle or key plugged into the back, and this will be plugged into the radio. You can use this to send back as a keyer, and then watch their sending on here. So basically, I can get on CW right now with my paddle and this, and not even know CW, or if I'm bad at copying, I can get on here with this and really, send CW if I'm doing all right, because I started learning sending more than receiving. I could send it on CW, and then this on a paddle, and this thing would decode it. Or I could use the keyboard plugged in the back and basically consider it like PSK with a keyboard to keyboard, although you're going keyboard to CW. Now, to each his own. For myself, I would love to get this CW finally really finished and be an expert at it, and do it with a radio, a key, and a pen and paper. That's how I want to do it. Out in the field, portable, and do whatever. But if there are people that just don't have the skill, or maybe they just don't want to learn, or maybe they want to make a few CW contacts and they're a little rusty and they can't decode well, or they just want to do some really high speed And the thing is, with the high speed, if you're doing, I've heard somebody using something like this before because it was so fast, it was unintelligible by human ear, I would think. But you could also set it with memories here, so you don't have to constantly do CQ, this is whatever. You can maybe do a memory for that, and then a memory responding, and then much like macros on PSK, right? And then it'll also, as you do each contact, you can have it set a sequential number. If you're contesting, it'll add the number to the transmission for the person, your number 16, 17, 18, all the way up to 9,999. So if you're interested in really getting into CW and not doing it or learning it 100% by mind and ear, and you want to get on and do CW, you would need this, a radio, and either a paddle or a keyboard. And basically, you can get on a CW that way. And maybe I'll check out some other videos, or I'll do some other videos in the future of my little pocket-sized PSK modem and this, and do some keyboard CW and see what happens. And some may call it cheating, some may call it brilliant. So I'm interested in trying this. The MFJ 464, pretty much all the stuff wrapped into one box here. Speakers on top, and if I didn't show you the back already, keyboard here, the key ins where you plug it in. Key out would go to your radio, or PTT out, and then you have your radio, audio in, radio speakers. So you have all the connections here for that. It runs on 12 volt DC, and all these that run on 12 volt DC do not require a lot of power. I mean, if you wanted to take this portable, you can with even a 4 amp hour battery or even smaller, and run this stuff. I mean, you're only taking 150 milliamps practically to run this. So really not a lot of consumption, even if you brought a couple of these units with you. So this wraps up video number 2 on my progress. I didn't show you much of my progress on my CW, but just giving you an idea that there are tools. There are a lot of options for keyers and paddles and practice tools for CW. I found that this was the more affordable route. Some things here I bought, and some MFJ wanted me to check out, and they were nice enough to let me check them out. So thank you, MFJ. And you can get these at your favorite radio dealer, but there are options. And you know what? MFJ has quite a bit of CW stuff. I mean, they have other straight keys and other keyers and stuff. I just wanted to kind of get a realm of in between. I do have now my paddle that I can use when I learn and get some better. And I use my straight key oscillator up here quite a bit to test, to practice every day up here on the desk. And also they do have, I already opened, I bought extra stuff here like, adapters. Really, a couple of them I bought, I didn't know if I needed or not, but like, see, this is a big key input. So I had to buy this here to use an adapter from the 3.5 to the 1/4 inch. And radio to key, keyer to radio key and cable. So they have some accessories there as well. And I have a lot to play with here, and I got not a lot of time, so I'm going to continue going on here. And so actually, next video you'll see in the back here, if I can move this camera, the new MFJ digital SWR watt meter here that I got. Pretty cool. Just did a video using it. It was a lot easier to see on camera for you guys with that power meter. So thanks for watching video 2, and post your comments. I love reading your comments. I love the feedback and your stuff. So I invite you on Facebook, on YouTube. Comment below, subscribe so that you're following me. I appreciate everybody who watches. And for more videos, check out my channel and facebook.com/HamRadioConcepts. Still working on the website. I got a lot of cool stuff I want to put on the website, HamRadioConcepts.com, but I haven't got that far yet either, so I'm trucking along, guys. And thanks for watching again. 7-3, more to come from KJ4, YZI.